Well, hello and welcome to this video tutorial. I had previously stated that video tutorials were on hold, and my stance has not changed as far as looking for other programs. I put a little bit of time into looking into hardware alternatives and started a thread at Hard Forums, and I'm still waiting for replies. I did a search just to see what was out there to buy and what the highest rated stuff was, and I searched for 64-bit screen recording programs, and I found something called the Open Broadcaster System. So if I go into Google and I type in OBS, Open Broadcaster Software, and this apparently is open source. There's no garbage in it, and it seems to be working fine, and we're testing it with this video. If this video is acceptable and doesn't crash and doesn't mess up my speed of my voice or synchronization of my voice, then I want to continue using it and I can resume tutorials. When you want to download this, if you're on a 64-bit system, go for the binary link. They'll give you the 64-bit and 32-bit versions in one package. Otherwise, go with just the download link. And I need to give a shout out to Mr. Swing Point, I guess. He's who showed up when I was looking for 64-bit screen recording software, and I watched the video and learned about this program, and I didn't have to put any effort really into searching it, and I'm still unwilling, as I said, to do any searching, put a lot of extra effort into this. As I said in my previous video, I do not feel that I have been properly appreciated. I do not feel that I'm receiving any help or support from people. I've been putting out video tutorials for a long time now, not just here at YouTube. And not just video, I've done written tutorials before. And I know that there's a lot of people that like my videos, and I appreciate that, but liking a video doesn't help somebody to buy hardware and upgrade their computer and do things, you know. Not that I'm aware of anyway. You need to have money for that. But enough of that. I am not going to complain. I now have a possible solution. This video will replace my previous video. Okay, it's now giving me some issues, so we're going to tell it to keep. So this may not be working. If you see this video, then it will be replacing my previous video tutorial, and this will be the only program that I can recommend. I can no longer recommend Fox Magic because I'm keeping right on the right processor time period here, so I was keeping under 50%. Excuse me, I wanted to check that. I can't recommend, I don't remember the name of it now. It was Fox Magic something or other. Anyway, I was using that for a while. I didn't like it as much as Ocam. I was using Ocam before that. Ocam auto-updated, and it started having adware and spyware. And then Fox Magic all of a sudden just stopped working. CamStudio has never worked. It always has problems, no matter what kind of computer you have. So I'm never touching it again. And I've tried just about every other free option that exists out there known to man. The only one I didn't know about was this open broadcasting software thing. So I think I knew about it once a long time ago, before it was a program that you could actually use. And it's like a recent development now that you have something you can actually use. When you download it, all you have to do is just take your 32-bit or 62-bit version after you extract the file. Just take the folder that says 32-bit or 64 and just replace the name with OBS and put that wherever you want, and you're good. You know, it'll work. You just click on the executable inside that folder and it'll start right up. I'm going to go over a few settings to show you how to use this, and what seems to be working for me right now, but I'm hesitant because I don't know what's going to happen here with that message popping up. Okay, I got this open so that I can see, you know, what my specs are, how my system's handling this. I am on a Core i5 quad-core processor, and I have about 8 gigs of RAM. And I'm on Windows 7 64-bit. And I wanted to keep this so that no matter what I was doing, it would be no more than 50% CPU power. That is the one disadvantage that I am seeing with OBS, is that it does not seem to be benefiting any from the 64-bit optimizations. When I was using Ocam, I had better performance and quality than I had with this. And Ocam is 32-bit. 64-bit should give you better quality and speed, but it's not. It's not actually using the quads, or it's not actually, or it's using too much resources and spreading them out among the quad cores. But it's using way too much resources, more than it should be. I've run across this in other screen recording programs that just require a huge, vast amount of memory, and some don't. Some do and some don't. Ocam didn't, and the Fox Magic Screen Recorder thing didn't require a lot, but this one apparently does. So that's the one disadvantage. But the advantage is it has all the settings you need to do a recording, and it's free and open source. There's no crap in it. So kudos to the people who put this out, and I'm not going to complain, if I have it set where it works. And so if I start at Blender here, this is how I was testing it. I don't know what you're going to see after that message, but if I zoom in and out, I want to look at this grid, and I don't want to see a lot of artifacts and blockiness going on. And I didn't want to ping past 50%. It goes up to about here, I think, about 60 or so, and then goes back after it's loaded. So I think I have it set about where I want it to be. So now if it'll let me, I'm going to try to go over the settings, but I have not tried doing the settings while recording. I don't have another program to record with. So if I can't do the settings while recording, I will write them down or something. Excuse me. To start with, you just have this thing called scene. You can add a new one if you want. I just use what was here. And then you have your different sources. They recommend you use this game capture. I haven't played with it too much. I have only been working with monitor capture. Excuse me again. All my water's gone. Having throat problems or something. I'm assuming image will just capture a screen, which is cool. It's nice to have a free screen capture program built into this. And video capture if you had a card or some kind of hardware hooked up to do your stuff. And I don't know what text. I haven't played with any of this. I just went to monitor capture, and then it pops up a box, and I gave it the name Dream PC because it's recording my computer. And you can go here to properties, and there's all these different other things you can do here. And I have capture mouse cursor, and that's about it. I didn't really mess with anything here. There's a couple of notes here, and I'm going to go over that here in a minute. So if I go to settings, this is going to be pretty much the same on yours. I don't know what cursor over projector is. Encoding, you don't really have a choice. You only get X264. And this is usually checked by default. I've unchecked it and made this at 10. This by default is like at 1000, and I checked my videos that I've done, and they're all at 1000 bit rate, but I get better picture quality at 3000, and I kept this. I checked this, was usually unchecked, and I put 3000 on there. I have AAC 4800 320 stereo. I'd like to capture it in mono. There's only one other disadvantage I can think of right off the top of my head in this program, and that is that it doesn't allow you to capture mono at 320. So what I did is I just capture stereo at 320. Mono only goes up to 360. And that's if you select MP3 or AAC. So I just did that, and then when I went here to the microphone options, not microphone options, where was that at? Or was it in microphone options? It's here. I checked this for the sound of mono. I want 320 because I'm doing self-hypnosis scripts and brainwave type entertainment, and I want a single high-quality monaural audio track because that's what a microphone captures is monaural. unless you have a really high-end stereo microphone setup, which most people will not have. So you don't need to capture stereo when you have the option. You should try to capture mono because it saves you that much system resources. But in this case, I can't get high enough quality. It's not good enough for me, so I've got to do it this way, and I don't know if this is the best option. I'm still playing with this. That's everything there. I don't broadcast. There's a drop-down box here, and you can pick different things. You can stream or you can file output. Most people are getting this to stream. I use it as a screencasting program. So I got file output. I picked a place to put files. It decides its name based on whatever I started with. So now I get OBS parentheses 1, OBS parentheses 2, and so forth. I picked some keys. I did Control F1 and Control F2, figuring that would be less confusing in the programs that I use, although I might change that. You can clear and easily add these, and unlike, I think, Fox Magic, these don't mess up. So that's nice. Under video, you should have, hopefully you have, one of the other videos I watched about OBS said you should have your own video card in there, not built in. So that should be showing up here. It would work better for you if you have a nice card in there, and this is what I have. It may not classify as nice, but it's better than a built-in video card. And I'm happy with it. I mean, it does everything I need it to do. And no matter what I do with this, so I go to monitor, it always goes back to custom. I just capture the whole screen. Now this is where it tells you to disable arrow, and all that does is remove this transparency effect going on, and it gives you a bit of performance. But I like to have my screen that I'm doing my videos to be looking exactly the same as what what you see. I want to record my environment as I normally run it. I guess that's the best way to put it. And I want the fancy windows. I want the nice effects and stuff. So I have it set to where it's not pushing my processor too much. You can see it over here. I'm watching this readout even as I do this. Excuse me again, man, I'm having problems. Anyway, so I just unchecked that, but if you check this, you'll get a good performance boost, and if you're doing streaming, you should check this for sure. That's what I hear from all the other people who are doing streaming for Twitch TV or whatever. I've seen one person put this at 60. I keep it at 30. You're not going to be able to notice much difference past 30 unless you're in a game where there's a lot of action going on. You might want 60 then, but it might affect your upload if you're doing streaming, so watch that. I just keep it at 30 because I'm doing, recording on my hard drive. And that's what this video is concerned with too, making video tutorials, not streaming. So I'm just throwing in the streaming information there in case some streamer type person watches this and wants a little information. I've never seen anybody change this. I changed this immediately to my digital output Realtek high definition audio, which is built in onboard audio, which I know isn't great, but I did that, and I had my I think I had to reboot before it would show after I plugged in my Snowball, I had to reboot before it would show up on the list, and I selected my Snowball. I don't know if it really matters, but select it if it's there. If you don't have it plugged in and you want to record, plug it in and then start up the program and select it. Otherwise, turn off the program, reboot it after it's plugged in, and select it. And do this if you're trying to be smart like me, and you don't need the stereo track for your voice. You only need mono. It might be more processing doing it that way, but it's easier for me to work with self-hypnosis and the things that I'm doing. So that's what I've done, although this can be experimented with. This is the default here. This is normally unchecked. This is checked normally. I haven't messed with any of the other stuff here. I don't see a point. I have a blue Snowball microphone and it has everything I need. I just click a button on the back and I got different settings. So you might hear a fan in the background, but that's about it. Now, this is important. I set this to above normal so that there's more power being directed, system resources being directed to this program. And that has removed, I used to get these little red message boxes right around here. And I don't get those anymore, so I did that. And that's based on another tutorial that I watched, so cred to that tutorial author, and I don't remember who it was now. I changed this all the way down to slowest, and I was watching this, and I was going, if I set it 1 down to faster, I would be at 50% power or higher all the time. So very fast, which I think is the default, is as low as I could go. If you're on a really low, weak system, you want to go to the very top. If you've got some kind of, I don't know, what's more powerful than an i7 quad core? I don't know, but if you have something that's more powerful than an i7 quad core, you probably want to go here to slower. I mean, if you're on some government supercomputer, go to slower. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do much here. You're going to have to keep it at either faster, very fast, and this would be in your i5, i7 range. And this would be your laptop or let's say i3 range. And I don't know where an AMD would be, somewhere in here. But I would just recommend keeping it right where it's defaulted. I could push it, I could go a little bit more faster, but I want more resources for other programs. So I'm doing video tutorials, I got to run other software. I'm already running at 30%, so that means that if my other software, whatever I run, in each program, I got, let's say, 3 programs total at 30% or 33% each. And then I'm out of processor speed. So, and my programs are pretty intensive, and I usually do run 2 or 3 programs a piece. So I might even have to up this even more than where it is. But for now, this is working great. And this I've seen put at high, I've seen at main. Main seems to have a smoother response, maybe if you're doing games, and for some reason you're recording your games through this instead of the games option, then you probably want to set that to main. If you use the games option, and that's what you set over here when you set a device, a source. If you use the games, then you're probably going to want this on main. I think it gives you a smoother thing. Now I've checked this, and I put a switch in here. This is what's called the switch. There's different settings you can put in X264. If I stuck with just this and unchecked this, and both of these are unchecked by default, then what I would find out is that it would average out to the highest, I don't know how they put it, how somebody put it, but like it'd be something equivalent to CRF equals 18, I guess, or 20. Probably closer to 20. But I went ahead and just left it unchecked, checked this, and put CRF 16. And that seemed to give me the quality I want. I didn't mess with any of this stuff here. And I don't recommend doing that. And I wouldn't even recommend doing this if it's not really important to you. I was being picky about the Blender grid. And after I watch this video when I'm done, I'll know if everything worked out. And I haven't messed with anything here. If you don't have a nice fancy microphone, this is where you can change some settings and do some stuff to make it sound better. It's beyond the scope of this tutorial and my knowledge at this time, so you're on your own if you want to figure this out. But it's not that difficult to take, say, one setting. Like if you enabled this and you wanted to figure out what it does, you could uncheck this and you could try a number here and see what that does, and write down the default before you do that. And actually it has the defaults here. You can click on this at any time, put everything back to default. So you could change like one variable at a time, see what it does, put it back to default, change another variable, see what it does. It's just a trial and error process. That's what I've done for the encoding, and we'll see how it came out. If it came out, then video tutorials will resume as long as OBS is free, works, and has no garbage in it. If OBS all of a sudden stops working, isn't free anymore, or starts putting garbage in it, or they take out the screen capture and make it just a streaming program or whatever, then I'm done. And we'll be back in the same boat we were in before. But for now I can continue. And I don't know what I'm going to continue with, but I'm thinking it's going to be GIMP, and I'm probably going to do some stuff about self-hypnosis. I'm kind of losing my interest in programming, so I might be done with using old source code series. We'll see how that works out. And I'll do a general video for updates later. This has been going on long enough. I'm sorry that the video was a little longer than most people like, but hopefully it gave you good information, and it now gives you a program that you can use to make your own video tutorials, and you know how to set it up. I'll see you in the next video.